This brief demo highlights the business criticality of auditing and updating cloud security policies in real time. Let's drill into the business case. Security should not be the bottleneck to business agility, but it frequently is, and unfortunately in the cloud it's no different. In fact, a 2017 survey indicates that one of the most challenging factors in managing cloud deployments is around setting consistent security policies. The problem set here as we define it is that security policy misconfigurations will occur. How can they be identified, and then how can they be updated to meet security compliance, yet done in a way without impacting business or inhibiting agility? Let's go a step further. We know that security policy mistakes can occur during the build process, or a policy requirement can be missed during the design process. The risk here is that misconfigurations can literally stop applications from working as intended in business going forward, or even worse, grave risk can expose the underlying cloud environment. So it is critically important that we are monitoring application flows and auditing policies in real time to identify any misconfigurations. It's critical to having success in the cloud. So when misconfigurations do occur and are uncovered, there has to be a fast yet controlled way to get the business applications back up and running and risk eliminated from the environment. And this is exactly the use case we're going to focus on today. It's what we call policy audit and updates via self-service security. So let's do a demo of the Cloudvisory security platform and highlight this very use case. Give me a moment just to share my desktop with you, and I'm going to pull up the Cloudvisory security platform, and this is one look into the UI. It's what we call the visualization, and this is a real AWS environment. We could just as easily do this demo for Azure or OpenStack or Google Compute. For us, the provider environment is agnostic. What we do is discover and uncover all the native infrastructure assets in these environments, and in this case, we're in an AWS VPC called Prod in US East Region 1, and this is a very simple demo app with a web tier and a database tier. Let me show you what this application is supposed to do by just going out to a web page, a browser here, and I'm going to try to load this simple app. It's a demo app, Cloudvisory demo app, and we're going to access the database. But when I do so, you will see the database is not accessible. And this is absolutely due to a misconfiguration. And I can prove that to you here by resetting the start time of the visualization and showing you, look, when we tried to access that application, the web tier was unable to reach the database tier. And this is a real-time data flow. This is what the green and the red lines represent. These are real-time data communication flows between assets. And it's showing you that the communication required from the web tier to the database tier was blocked. So how are we going to resolve this issue? Because again, this could have happened through a simple build process. It could have happened during design process and somehow this policy requirement was missed, but nevertheless, business has ground to a halt. Let me show you how fast and easy we can change this. I'm going to open up the security groups. Now keep in mind, what we're showing you here is even though we're doing this all through the Cloudvisory UI, we are looking at actual AWS security groups here. This is what's been deployed from this web tier. You've got 4 inbound rules and you've got 8 outbound rules. We're clearly missing some key rules here. So I'm going to show you how fast we can add these with a couple of clicks. I'm literally going to go back to the UI here. I'm going to right-click on that red line. I'm going to scroll down to add policy. It's going to pull up the proper policy. I'm going to click next. I'm going to submit this. And what we're going to do is we are going to provision in real time AWS security rules related to this required port. Now what you're going to see is I'm going to go back to the app, and I'm going to try to access the database, and bam, sure enough, I can now access the database. Let me refresh my visualization and watch green lines. Why do I now have green lines? Because we have set the missing security groups in place in AWS, and now the app can do what it's supposed to do. That's why you saw the actual browser complete its request, and this is why you now see that red line has turned into a green line. And if I dig into the underlying security groups, you will now see that instead of 8 outbound rules, we have 10 outbound rules. The 3306 ports were added, and equally, I'm now going to jump over to the database to show you that the required inbound rules were also set. Those of you who are familiar, and you'll see right there, the 3306 inbound rules were also added to the environment. Those of you that are familiar with the way cloud rules work, security groups work, you have to explicitly state both inbound and outbound rules for communications to be completed. So with one simple right click, add policy, we deployed not only the outbound policies to the web tier, but also to the inbound policies to the database tier. And now, boom, business is back up and running. This is the power that can be had by having the proper security platform in place. We really thank you for watching this quick demo on the CloudVisory security platform, and specifically this use case about audit and self-service. And we hope that you'll spend more time at the CloudVisory site, and please reach out to us for a private and complete demo of the entire platform to show how much power we can add to your cloud deployment.